Hi guys. So we're now ready for the final component of this research project, which is the video. So a couple things that you're going to want to have ready to go before you start making it. The first one is this video rubric, which will be in Google Classroom. The second item you'll want pulled up is your script. And what I did is I went ahead and put it in a separate window because I'm going to have to be looking at my video recording software over here while I read my script. And since I don't have a printer at home, this is the best way to do it. You're also going to want the pictures or the video transitions you're going to be using pulled up and ready to go, and I'll go into that in a moment. So let's start with the rubric. This video is worth 100 points. You get 25 points just for making the darn thing and then posting it on either YouTube or giving me the link on the website. Either way, I have to be able to see it. You get 25 points for successfully creating a video that is at least 2 minutes long. You get another 25 points for ensuring that you have 4 original pictures or video transitions. The key word there is original, meaning taken by you or taken with you in the photo. And they also need to be relevant. Okay? So if your research topic was rebuilding the engine of a car, you probably don't need to have a picture of your pool, as an example. And then your final 25 points are for your voiceover because you are going to be narrating this. Your voice should be clear, reasonably paced, and you should be saying your words correctly. Okay, so we can go ahead and close the rubric for that now. Before we do, here's some possible programs to use for your video creation. I'm going to demo Adobe Spark for you today. It's very, very user-friendly, very idiot-proof, which is exactly what I need. But you're welcome to use any program you want, any app, as long as you can have the video or photo transitions, you can narrate with your voice, and you can share it with me effectively. Okay? But like I said, I'm going to demo Adobe Spark. So if you want to use what I'm using, you'll go to spark.adobe.com, S-P-A-R-K, or you can just Google Adobe Spark, and you'll be able to find it. It is free for you, so you'll want to set up an account, and what I would recommend is connect it to Google through your school Google account, okay? Once you create an account, it's going to give you an option for the type of story or project that you want. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the easiest one to pick is the slideshow, because this is going to set itself up well to the voice narration and the pictures. Once you click on the slideshow, you can go ahead and put your title in. It's not a big deal if you don't have a title yet, but by this point, you really should, because you were supposed to have a title lined up with your outline. So my title, I don't even remember what it is. I believe it was Staying Green. For now, I'll put it in as a placeholder and go from there. What Adobe Spark is going to do is allow you to pick a story template. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that all that does is put some words on your individual slides that you're probably going to have to delete anyway, so I always go to make up my own. Once it loads, you're going to be able to do some customization, and you can customize now or you can do it at the end. Okay, so you can choose your theme, for example, which is colors and font. Okay, so since I'm talking about gardening, I'm just going to go ahead and pick green. You can pick your background music. Your background music needs to kind of make sense, and you can actually listen to different things. And I don't know if that's coming through very loudly. But because I'm doing gardening, I would probably choose something happy or playful. Okay, doesn't really matter as long as it makes sense. So I'll go back to Leapfrog for the time being. You can also adjust the volume that the music plays depending on how loud your voice is. And again, you can do all of this at the end as well. When you're here at the very first slide, this is going to be your title. So you've got a couple options. You can put a picture here if you would like, or you can just go ahead and do text. And the nice thing is, the slideshow is going to automatically center that for you. This is your credit slide. I go ahead and hide that one because I don't need it. And then the outro is part of it because you're basically getting a free service. So now it's time to actually add body slides. And this is where you're going to have your pictures and where you're going to do your voiceover narration. Now, one thing I'll go ahead and warn you about is that in this slideshow, every single one of these slides can only be 30 seconds or less. So you're going to get cut off at the 30-second mark, which is why you really want to kind of look at your script and figure out how to divide in chunks that are less than 30 seconds. It's also logical that you're going to need a different picture or video for each one of those chunks. The way you divide it is up to you as long as it's logical. Okay, so I can tell you that this hook and this research topic is probably going to be right at 30 seconds, so I will have one slide for this. So now it's time to go ahead and look at my options here. I can go full screen, split screen, caption, or title and text. I'm going to tell you probably the easiest way to do a picture and a basic caption is to do the split screen. So on the right hand side here, I'm going to add my photo. Once you get to this point, you need to know where your pictures are. If you're on a desktop computer, you can upload photos. If you're on your Chromebook, you're going to want to connect to your Google Drive if that's where you've saved your photos. And honestly, that's where I would save them if I were you. So when you connect to Google Drive, even though you may already be signed into your Google account, it's going to ask you to go through that whole process again. And yes, you can trust it to look at your pictures. It's going to put you back into Adobe Spark. And then it will be time for you to actually go into Drive and find your photos. And for whatever reason, this is taking a little bit of time. So going back into here, I want to go find that photo in my Google Drive. And remember, original photos means these are things that I have actually taken or that I am in, and they need to be relevant. They need to make sense given what it is that I'm talking about. So be creative if you need to. Remember that you can take pictures of components of things or things that are symbolic. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. This is asparagus on my counter, which was delicious, by the way, because I do end up talking about having a vegetable garden. Now, if I need a caption, I can put one over here. If I don't need a caption, one thing that I may consider is switching to full screen option. It makes sense, though, guys, that if you have something that you've taken a picture of that people might not know, for example, going back to the rebuilding an engine idea, I'm not going to know what the parts are of an engine. It would be good to have that split screen option so that you can label what that thing is, okay? Just to show you, you can put text here. So I'm just going to put as a placeholder vegetables. And then I can actually move this around if I drag and drop to center it and make it look appropriate. Okay, so this is an example of how you can set up the visual of your slide. Now let's look at the audio. In order to record audio, you're going to click on this red button and hold while you speak. So in order to be ready to do that, you want to make sure that your script is nearby, either printed or here to the side. Okay? When you speak, you don't need to yell. You just need to speak clearly, and keep in mind, you need to have your voice be slower than normal, because when we get a little bit anxious and we talk, and especially when we're in presentation mode, we tend to talk a lot faster than we think we are. So here we go. I'm not going to say engaging hook or research topic. I'm just going to use the sentences after it. And actually, I'm going to have to minimize this a little bit because otherwise I won't see my script. Okay, now here we go. I can't keep plants alive. Ever. Never ever. The idea of having a vegetable garden has always interested me, but I've never thought I would be capable of actually doing it. There's no time like the present, especially under quarantine, to make this dream a reality. In order to start my vegetable garden, I need to understand how to prepare the land, choose my plants, and successfully grow my vegetables. Now notice how it goes red right there to warn me that I'm close to the 30-second mark. So I released the red button when I was finished speaking, and now I can preview it. I can't keep plants alive. Ever. Never ever. The idea of having a vegetable garden has always interested me. Okay, because you don't need to hear that for a second time. It sounds clear. I would play it all the way through, and that slide is good. And then I would do the same process for every other subsection until I get through my entire script. Okay? Once you have done all of your slides, you can do a full preview by clicking this play button.
I can't keep plants alive. Ever. Never ever. The idea of having a vegetable...
Okay, so I've gone ahead and paused it because you don't need to see any more of that, but there's the preview. Once you're satisfied with your entire video, you can come up here and you can click share and publish it, or you can download it and upload it to your Google Drive and share it with me that way. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so just a reminder that it does need to be a minimum of 2 minutes long, that it does need to have at least 4 original pictures or video transitions. If you use a video, that's fine too. And that your narration needs to be nice and clear. As always, if you have any questions over what you're doing, just shoot me an email and we'll work through it. Good luck.